Well, hello everybody, welcome to Robert's Train Set, and this is a bit of film I finished my last video upload with, if you remember. So what's this all about? What's failed? What I had to buy to fix it? And did it work? So please keep watching to find out. Cheers everybody, hope you enjoy the video. Please subscribe and like if you like it. But before we begin, what were the failures? Well, this is come to hopefully get them working. So what's wrong with my Class A3 Flying Scotsman? Well, absolutely nothing, but if we pan across, I'll show you what we have the problem with. It's to do with this one. This is my first ever loco on the new layout, the one Accord, the A1. What's wrong with this? And my 3-year-old A1 Flying Scotsman in the LNAR green. What's wrong with this? Wait and find out. So let's get on to this bit, the speed. And it's more the perception of speed. So what I did, I ran the train past the platform and filmed it on the layout to give you some views of it. And before I did this, I thought it always looks faster when you're close up to it, or when you're doing a driver's view, for instance. But having watched this, I'm not absolutely certain. So what do you think? Can you mention it in the comments whether you think my perception was correct, or is there no difference? And what sort of made me think about this was when you watch full-size trains, real trains, from a long way away, like you sometimes see on the rail fanning, they seem to be going awfully slow, and then as they come past you, they're going quite a bit quicker, aren't they? So I just thought, you know, I'd try this. And at 20 miles an hour, you know, it doesn't actually look that fast, does it, along the platform? And I thought, you know, it would look a lot slower running around the track. So I did a bit of filming with the St Germans on my Polaroid Cube camera at the same 20 miles an hour, and just thought, you know, does this look any different? So you've just seen it from a distance, and here we are running down the station at 20 miles an hour. Is this more of what I was thinking, should I say? I mean, that looks pretty slow, doesn't it, down there from this distance? And yeah, I left the Pullman garages behind, but I did film it all at the same time, so you're not seeing anything that wasn't filmed with the loco and the cube on it in this little segment. All right. And then we've just got a little bit of close up as it comes down, and this was good. I enjoyed this. So we'll just go back to what it was before. So anyway, I would be interested in your perceptions yourselves, and let me know, and we'll see how we go. But that's all it's about. Now, if you think what my thought was right, I haven't got an answer as to why. I'm not that clever. So any other suggestions on why, that would be nice. Any physicists out there that can tell us, that would be nice. Thank you. But I hope Kelly likes all this St Germans. So this is another bit of my last video upload, and if you remember, I tried to repair it, didn't I, because it was falling off, and I used Velcro and I had to staple it onto the back of the hardboard. So I needed to tidy it up and try and stop it billowing out and whatever. So I pulled it away, as you can see, and then I stuck vertical bits of Velcro down the back seam, as you can see, and I stapled it just at the top, and strangely it stays there with that. Kept it down from the top to give me a bit of wriggle room, because if you had it right tight it would be hard. And then after I got that ready, I then stuck the other part of the Velcro on, the female or the male part of it, and then stripped off the backing. Then when it was all ready, I then got hold of the back seam and pulled it taut and gradually stuck it on. Now, there's no way you would have been able to stick those bits on different, you know, without having them like that. And I did it, and yes, it didn't do a bad job. Of course, once it's done, it's done. There's not much you can do. But by stretching it, I did actually manage, as you can see, to close up that first top part of the joint, which looks okay for the sky. But the bottom bit wasn't so good, and I couldn't get any more to ease it, and I wouldn't want to trim it. So this was the sky from the bit I had left over, and as it was from the other end, it was a lot lighter. So I just cut out a sort of a cloud really and stuck it over the bad bit, and you can also see I put a bit of the vegetation just to take the worst away. And yes, it doesn't look much like a cloud, but it could be smoke from a forest fire, because it's wood, isn't it? And here we are with a train trundling across. So I don't know what you think, but I'm happy with it now. That'll do for the rest of my time. So here's this little parcel that came to try and correct the two Class A1 locos that I've got a problem with. And when you see the who it's from, you might sort of have an inkling. Yes, Roads and Rails, and they came quite well, free postage, not bad. So let's open the box and we'll see how we go, shall we? So here are the two A1s waiting to be operated upon, and we've got the box. So I opened the box and we got some paper protection. And what was inside? Well, these were the minor bits. So we've got some black tack, the weights are obvious, some grease and some heat shrink. And a nice brown envelope that they came in the parcel. But the major part of it, the most expensive bit, are these two lock sound decoders. And as you might imagine, one is just a plain decoder, and that's going into Bonaccord, just to see how that does. And the other one is a sound decoder to go into the A1 Flying Scotsman, because that was sound to start with. So it'd be interesting to see how it gets on. And that's the lock sound one. So although they might look the same, these locos, the Bonaccord, you have to take the body off and the sockets in the body, as you can see. And this is one that I put a sound decoder in when I first got it, and I had to drill holes through the tender and get the speaker in there. But this was fairly straightforward, as you can imagine. And as the layout was pretty full of stuff, I thought I'd better run it on my little bit of outer track. So I was lazy here, just turned the DR5000 on, put a new loco in the phone and used that to do it. And as you can see, it ran very well actually. This was almost the first time I'd run it. I will make one comment. There isn't a number 1 printed on the 8-pin connector for these, either of them. Yeah, we know it's the yellow, but you know, the yellow to me doesn't look very yellow. So that was fine. That worked great. And I just put it in the siding there, and that ran in like that. It's good. So this is where I thought I might have some problems. Now, I ordered and I was advised to have a 27mm round enhanced bass speaker, but you can see I got a rectangular one. and it caused a few problems. So I first of all had to take the speaker out from under the weight. So I unscrewed that, and you have to unscrew the socket to do it. And then I put it back, and there was no way that that speaker would go under the weight. So I tried various ways of putting it in there, including putting it along that slot, but in the end I had to put it where it is there now. Look, the crosshair held on with some blue tack, black tack. That's why I bought some. And you can see the decoder, in the end I had to put it sideways like that, with black tack to hold it up. I like the way that they're sealed and encased in the plastic. And then it was a case of jiggling the wires as usual, putting it back, putting the long screw down into here, and then putting the coupling back in, because you have to take the coupling out. I'm sure everybody knows this, but you know, I thought I might as well just show it a little bit. And then back to now I did add some sound and whatever to the phone, and here we go with no sound on at the moment. And again, it ran nice and well, just like Bonacord. Now, when I tried this with a blanking plate on DC down in the thing to see that it still worked, which I did the same with Bonacord, this was so noisy, this one. It was really, really bad. Whereas Bonacord was really quite quiet. I was surprised, and I was worried that, you know, with the decoder going in it might have done some damage, but obviously not. But it was really nice and quiet and ran really, really well. So I took it down the end there and brought it back again. Now what I noticed is it takes an age to stop. I turned the regulator off quite a long way back, and as you'll see when it comes back, it takes as long backwards as well. But yeah, I was pleased with this. It was all working, and all I needed to do now was to see if the sound would actually work, isn't it? So I brought it all the way back, and I hope you don't mind me showing it all the way along. After all, this isn't a very long video, if you have a look, because we're nearly at the end of this. Yeah, it was good. It was good. So, you know, it took all this time to slow down. It really did take a long, long time to slow down. So I then put the sound on. And yes, it's okay. I thought it might be a bit louder than it is. I suspect you can turn the volume up, but I don't know what. I didn't get any CV paperwork with this, just the as you saw, the you know what I mean. It's gone out of my head again. I'll put it in the picture. And then I ran it along, and yeah, it does sound better, I think, than the TTS. And if you wonder why I didn't buy a TTS, it's because I couldn't get any. There weren't any A1 thing. Now you might have noticed that this was actually for an A3, the one I was sold, but I was advised, along with the round speaker, to get that. So I don't quite know what went wrong there. But I don't know. That's what I was advised by on the chat. I did the chat, when I was sort of looking to order it. And they were the answers I got back. But I think it's worked. We'll have to see whether the speaker and that stays where it is, because it's only the black tack holding it. If I find it comes off, I'll do it with some double-sided tape. But we'll see how we go. And ran it back, as you can see. It would have done better if I'd have actually changed the point, wouldn't it? But there we are, these things happen. So I just put them in. As you can see, the Bonacord is on the programming track, ready to just have it checked. Now that is number 3 on iTrains anyway, so not much to do there. And I did come up and change some stuff in the Flying Scotsman. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. Comments welcome, and cheers.